What's good, people? Trade recap from October 9th. I'm just going to start off in bar replay so we can just um, rewind time to market open and explain y'all my thought process. Um, yeah. So, going into market open, I am 100% bearish. Why? Because on the 4 hour, at this point, we've swept all time highs. Um, okay, this is really unfortunate. This is the 4 hour candle. This is very unfortunate, but this is the 4 hour candle, so you can see my take profit was hit. But um, at this point, we've already swept all time highs, and ES has not taken all time highs. You can see. I'm tweaking. Hold on. ES is on the wrong time frame. ES has. Okay, I'm geeking. But at this point, market's right here, and I see this 4 hour for value gap that I want to see get filled, right? I also mark out consequent encroachment of this fair value gap. My I also mark out consequent encroachment, and I could have targeted it and it would have hit actually, but I ended up not targeting it. Which honestly was a good thing because if I did set up multiple take profits, I would have got out of break even, but you'll see that later on. So on the 1 hour, we also had this, but I didn't really want to target that. It felt like that was too overextended. So at this point, those are my targets. Yeah. This was also a pretty strong move, and I didn't feel like we could just continue going higher. Like at this point, you could have also thought about equilibrium, but once again, we could have just continued higher off the 4 hour imbalance. So, yeah. Then going into market open, as y'all know, I have to see an SMT, at least in my model. So from here, I believe the SMT was on the 5 with this high. Honestly, I probably should have pulled up Top Step so we could look at exact executions. You know what? I might just do that right now. But you can see here, bang and bang. So SMT. I'm pretty sure though when market opens, so it's 927. Yeah, I'm pretty sure when market opens, ES actually takes out this high, which what I really liked, and NQ does end up taking this. I am pretty sure, but we will play a little bit and see what happens. But I do believe when market opens, yeah. So as here, wow, I don't know why it already moved. I've definitely already entered, but I'll explain. But so you can see here on the 5. Let me just go to the 5 on both. This is a high that got taken. This was my main SMT, my main confluence. This high got taken. Same high, not taken. Oh, same high was not taken at all. Unfortunately, we didn't have any for I would prefer an invalidation. We had this, but I entered off of a 1 minute market structure shift. Um, so when this low, this is my original market structure shift, then this low happened. And then I actually entered on a 30. Oh no, I don't have seconds on here. That's crazy. But I was afraid that we were not going to retrace back to this 1 minute fair value gap. So on the 30-second, there was a mini fair value gap right here that got filled right on this first bullish candle right towards the top of the wick. And I immediately entered. Stop loss at the I put it on at this fair value gap high, this candle high, because either one, if we filled in this fair value gap and started going lower, so like if we filled the fair value gap and continued lower, I would have added to my position because obviously that's just even more confidence that I'm right. And if we ran through the fair value gap, then obviously we are going to continue higher. We just invalidated it, right? So my stop loss was at the candle high, and I only had one take profit, which was the 4 hour fair value gap. So it looks something like this. Actually, it was definitely a little worse RR. I believe it was around 2. Yeah, something like this. So this was the trade. I'm gonna lie, I was low-key geeked here, but we can go ahead and play a little bit, and you'll see what I was talking about. So, like I said, I thought about targeting consequent encroachment. Would have made RR way better, but ultimately chose not to, which is definitely a good thing as well, because when we play it out, we end up. So this is what I was talking about. We did not fill, which is very, very unfortunate. If we filled here, I would have 100% added to my position, but we didn't fill, so that's kind of unfortunate. But at this point, we just straight dump to my take profit. I think this next candle's, yeah. So then this is where this candle takes me out. And then, so for example, if I were to target consequent encroachment, at this point my stop loss would be at break even, right? And I probably would have taken off half of my position of this fair value gap, right? And then you can see, crazy enough, I don't know how, we would have came up, stopped me out of break even, filled in the 1 minute fair value gap, and then immediately dumped all the way to consequent encroachment. Kind of crazy. Honestly, I could have done this, but I didn't. For some, if we rebalance this hard off of a 4 hour fair value gap, you might. And this was a decent fill of the fair value gap, right? It's not like we just wicked it. Like, we got in it a little bit. So if we see a strong rejection out and validating this and everything, like, I was gonna assume that we would have just pushed past this fair value gap. So I was surprised when we saw all of this, and so I didn't want to take another short to consequent encroachment, but as you can see, it would have got hit. So you could have targeted consequent encroachment, but like I said, man, can I grab the thing? Oh my gosh, there we go. But like I said, for me, ultimately chose not to. Would have been a fire trade, but this was really the trade. I was in and out very fast, very good. But yeah, boys, that's the in-depth trade recap. It would have been better if we had, like, so market open and ES kind of pumped and NQ didn't. So if we had like, I wanted to see a better, like, if with this pump up, if we would have made a fair value gap, I would have loved to enter like way higher up and put my stop loss at the SMT high off of like an invalidation that would have happened through here. Would have been way better, but didn't get that, which isn't a big deal. Would have been way cleaner, but yeah, that's the trade. Honestly, glad I took out everything at the 4 hour for value gap and not consequent encroachment. Now, why wouldn't I target? I don't even know if the 1 hour. Okay, yeah. So the 1 hour didn't even get filled, but I didn't even want to target the 1 hour because, like I said, I really just wanted to see this. Oh, you could have targeted this 4 hour. Oh yeah, that's another thing. This 4 hour BPR, I totally forgot about that. This was also driving my trade idea, but didn't target it, like I said, and I guess I should have. Wow, I didn't even know it ended up getting filled. Oh, well, it wouldn't have gotten filled till like the next day. Or at least way later on. Yeah, this is just too long at this point. I would have already, like, this is just too much chop and too long. This could have been like a PM short. So, but main thing that was driving my confluences was the 4 hour for value gap and the 4 hour BPR. But I didn't want to target the 4 hour BPR. Like I said, that's kind of too far away. So, but yeah, boys, that's the trade recap. I hope that helped. And yeah, I'll catch y'all. Peace.